Welcome to the desert here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. We've got two great teams coming in tonight for some Simulation Football League action here at Fatality Field. The Chicago Wildcats are coming into town to face off against the Arizona Scorpions. My name is Eric Benson alongside my best friend, Cade Stevens. Jacob Clear in the stats truck tonight. And Cade, we've got a good one here today. Both these teams trying to get back on track with a win.
Yeah, Eric, it's an exciting game. We had the pleasure of covering Arizona just a week ago, and the Arizona offense struggled to get into the end zone. Back home again tonight. It'll be interesting to see if the offense can try to put it together and score against what has not been the best defense in the league so far for Chicago.
Very strong along the rushing attack, though. Rushing defense is very strong for the Wildcats, so we'll have to see how things shape up tonight. Chicago coming out wearing the all-whites, looking pretty fresh. And Arizona will be wearing some special uniforms tonight as well. Their fluorescent unis are making their debut tonight. So we'll be seeing a little bit of a different look for Arizona, and it'll be quite evident here once they get out onto the field. Looks like they'll be kicking to start things off, and we'll be getting the ball on the tee here in just a moment. Once again, watching the Simulation Football League action on 11 Sports Next and for the fans. Kickoff is right around the corner. And newly signed Bryant Dynasty is going to be getting things underway here in the desert. He's got his hand up, and his foot is through the football. We're ready to go. Fielded inside the 10-yard line, bringing it up the field, following blockers, and out to about the 26, 27-yard line. And that was Davius Reed with the return. So Chicago gets their first crack at the football here, and E.T. King will come out with the troops here. His 7th season in the league, his 6th overall with Chicago.
Yeah, 6th overall with Chicago, and E.T., we had a pleasure of covering him actually earlier this year as well. And once again, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't believe it was the best game for them. But it'll be interesting to see if they can get it rolling here, get Mike and Proda up the field, involved in the pass game, involved in the run game, and try to open up a little something extra for the Chicago Wildcats offense.
Start things off, we're going to see a pass over to Ash Odom, the running back. And Chicago had a pretty good-looking ball game last week where they pulled out a victory against the Sioux Falls Sparrows, coming in here trying to keep it a 2-game winning streak as they're sitting at 2-2 currently. King under center. He's going to hand it off to Odom this time, and the defense was ready for it right away. Good play by the Arizona defense. B.J. Lovelace getting in there and making the stop right away.
Yeah, B.J. Lovelace in his first season over from Houston, previously inside linebacker number 54, makes a nice stop at the line of scrimmage. Chicago's going to have to deal with about a 3rd and 5 here.
King, pressure coming, hit as he's thrown, and it's incomplete. That's going to be a 3 and out. And good pressure coming by Chad Tackle, his first season, also coming over from Houston.
Yeah, good play by Tackle, getting in there and forcing an incomplete pass from E.T. King. It's going to force Chicago to punt the ball away. That's a 3 and out. Arizona's going to get an opportunity, here, Eric, to get the ball and try to make a statement here early in the first quarter.
So Franken will come on, and Darian Franken, he's going to have his first punt. Pressure's coming from Arizona, almost gets there, but it does get away safely. Fielded around the 30-yard line, stop and go, and about a couple yards out to the 33-yard line where Arizona will take over. Ashley Jackson will lead the troops out here. Her first season in Arizona, as obviously Arizona relocated from Oklahoma City just a season ago.
Yeah, coming over from Oklahoma City, Arizona. Ashley Jackson has had a pretty solid year so far. The last game around, they really struggled to get to the end zone. We'd like to see something a little bit more from Arizona's offense here.
And Jackson's going to air it out right away, and it's picked off right away. Just an impressive interception there coming from one of the corners. That was Jesse Vick as he gets his mitts on the football before the receiver does.
Yeah, great interception. Great read, quite honestly, by Vic to go out there and be able to see where the quarterback had the intentions of going to. If Jackson can get that ball just a little further out and higher, there's a potential this ball can be completed for a much bigger play. But nice play by Vic, interception, and Chicago's going to take the ball back over in a really, really nice field position here.
So the Wildcats get another opportunity at the football in their throwback uniforms as Ash Odom gets another carry. He will bring it up the field for about a gain of 1.5 yards.
Yeah, not a bad carry right there. I mean, you got to start chipping until you can try to make something happen here, Eric.
Oh, 100%. And Ash Odom is one of those guys. He is going to pull off a big-time run sooner rather than later. So you definitely want to get him involved in the run game early and often. 2nd and 9 from midfield, and he's going to get another handoff, trying to follow some blockers, bouncing it to the outside, and he'll still get stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Joey Tropicana, the Week 2 signing, is making the stop right there.
I really thought he had something there, kind of heading off towards the right guard in between the tackle, and boy, Tropicana just came through there and made a really nice play to tackle him for minimal gain.
So again, another 3rd down. 5 wideouts, empty set for E.T. King. Takes the snap. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw it out wide, and he's got his man wide open. That was J.C. Torres in his 4th year, all with Chicago, and a big play to set up 1st and 10 from the 20.
A great throw and catch on the outside corner route for J.C. Torres there. A nice gain, and that's going to give him a 1st down right at the Arizona 20-yard line, Eric.
And he was the most popular receiver just a week ago. 8 catches, 96 yards, averaging 12 yards a catch as Ash Odom gets another carry, and he's going to bring it inside the SFL red zone out to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, and Odom struggling to get started here so far, but it's one of those things with Chicago and Ash Odom that it just seems that the chips start early, and when he gets it going, he really gets it going, and I look for that to happen before too long. Look for Chicago to turn to the passing game potentially to try to open up the run game for Ash Odom.
Wildcats trying to capitalize on the first turnover of the night, the Jesse Vick interception, and Ash Odom goes nowhere as he is tackled in the backfield once again by Joey Tropicana. He's been very active early on.
Yeah, Tropicana been a very active name so far. Between him and B.J. Lovelace, they're really holding down that second level on the defense for the Arizona Scorpions.
It's going to bring up 3rd and seemingly forever. 4 wideouts. Odom is sidecar right in the gun. King is going to throw it towards the near sideline. That's caught. Corey Carter with his first catch of the ball game, but he is tackled well short of the 1st down marker. Manakanaka, amongst others, in there on the stop.
Yeah, it makes you kind of wonder, Eric, just based off the routes that I saw from some of the other receivers, that King just didn't get rid of that ball just a little too soon. I think he had the time if he hangs on to that. There's an opportunity kind of up the seam. I missed the receiver that it was. Forgive me for that, folks. But he had someone open right down around the 7-yard line. They're going to have to settle for the field goal here.
And it's going to be close to a gimme here for Anthony Cece as he sets up for a 29-yard field goal. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is through officially from 30 yards. The Wildcats strike first as they now take a 3-0 lead. Good looking field goal there, Cade, and we will go ahead and take a short break. Simulation Football League action resumes right after this short commercial break. Stay tuned on 11 Sports and For the Fans. .651 left to go here in the opening frame as Chicago striking first. 3-0 their lead here in Arizona. as the Scorpions will get another crack at it here. Good spin move on the return by Roscoe Justice, and he will get suplexed down to the turf right around the 25-yard line. And Kate, it was a one play and turnover there for the Scorpions. We didn't even really get a chance to analyze their offense before they turned it over.
No, I have to imagine that Jackson and this offense would really like to try to make something happen here on this particular drive. The offense overall, passing-wise, is ranked 13th so far in the SFL this season, averaging just about 240 yards a game. And improvement is definitely needed if you look to do something here in this season. And once again, a wide-open player right there drops the football. That's going to be number 87 coming through and dropping, unfortunately. But that's not what you want to see trying to get the pass game going here, Eric.
No, definitely not. And, they're going to try and get themselves back on track here as it's fallen incomplete.
No problem. Hey, that's a nice throw out there. Tight end Tiberius Bovine with a catch out in the flat. Good throw there by Ashley Jackson to try to get the ball out, and nice little gain. It's going to be 3rd and 5 here for Arizona. A manageable 3rd down. Let's see if the offense can try to make something happen here, folks.
Jackson in the gun on 3rd and 5. Moses is going to be sidecar left. Jackson guns it over the middle. That's caught. First down yardage out to about the 50-yard line. They're going to call it the 49 of Chicago, and that was exactly what Arizona needed there.
Exactly what they needed, Eric. Number 11, Donnie Hands with the catch. His first season over from London. He was a very popular target in the game we watched with Arizona this past week. And once again, Jackson, that's our go-to target. Looks like he's going to try to get him involved once again.
So James Hands with a big catch there. Makes it a 1st and 10. Jackson to throw again. She's going to check it down this time. That's Roscoe Justice with his first catch, and he's going to make it out to about the 45-yard line for his 2nd and 6 coming up. Get a look at the impact players on defense for the Wildcats. A.J. Barnes entering his 9th season with the Wildcats. 6th with the Wildcats, 9th overall. Gerald Giudice, Raymond Jones III, Clint Hendershot, Blake B. Craze, Greg Gaines, Jesse Vick, Maurice Spurgeon, and Ron Hoff all lined up the defense there. And a good little sidestep there for the Scorpions, but going the wrong way as James Hands ends up just before the first down marker. 3rd and 4 coming up here.
Wow. Donnie Hands, unfortunate, Eric. I really thought he had the first down on that particular play, but in an effort to make a move and try to gain more yardage, ended up losing yardage, costing his team and giving them a 3rd and 4 instead of what could have been a first down.
The 3rd and short, DJ Moses gets the handoff. He was trying to follow his blockers, gets swallowed up just before the line to gain. A good defensive play by the Chicago Wildcats defense, and that forces a 4th down for the Scorpions.
Yeah, 4th down. It's unfortunate, and I hate for that to be a play that they may potentially go back to once again on 2nd down with Donnie Hands there coming up just short. Hopefully that's not going to cost them, Eric, but that could have very well been a first down on a drive they so very badly needed. They're going for it here on 4th for those who are interested in finding out how this may turn out.
We'll see what happens here with Ashley Jackson, and she's under center. She's trying to get the defense to jump off sides. It's going to end up being a first charge timeout, though, to Arizona as they have to blow it before the play clock hits 0.
Yeah, it seemed like one of those instances, Eric, where honestly they were just going out there in an attempt to try to get the defense to jump off sides. Were unsuccessful in doing so, and unfortunately had to waste a timeout. In an effort, based off the way their offense has performed so far, I imagine that you want to try to get some momentum going for your team. I am a little surprised they didn't decide just to go ahead and snap the football there on what would have been 4th and 2 at Chicago's 41-yard line.
I'm a little surprised myself. I would have rather gone for it as Chicago was going for the block there. Does get away. It's going to bounce inside the 10 and is going to be downed by the Scorpions.
Hey, I guess it worked out.
I guess it did.
Yeah, we got Chicago's offense coming out here. Ash Odom, running back, fullback, Mike Improto, wide receiver Corey Carter, and many others coming out here to make some plays for Chicago. Offense coming back out again after a couple successful drives. Yeah, I'm sure they'd like to move the ball downfield here, potentially get some more points on the board. Arizona's offense hasn't done much to try to challenge them. Another great defensive play, stopping Ash Odom in the backfield there. That looks like, once again, number 54, B.J. Lovelace coming in to make a play. 47 as well. That's Mike St. Green coming up to make a play in the backfield, stopping Ash Odom for about a 2-yard loss.
And this is going to be looking good here for the Arizona defense. 2nd and 12 inside their own 5 for Chicago. 3:20 left to go here as Ash Odom gets another carry. He'll get positive yardage this time, but he'll get back to around the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit more, as Joey Tropicana gets another tackle there. 3rd and forever now for Chicago.
Yeah, great push by the center and guard right there for him to get back upfield. I'm sure that's what they were looking for on 1st down and didn't quite get it. But he was able to make up a little bit, get back to 3rd and 9. Chicago's going to need something to happen in order not to try to put themselves in a bad situation here.
And E.T. King really was trying to avoid a bad situation there, as you were talking, and just tosses it away. Really no one around for him to throw it to. That ends up being a 3 and out for Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get rid of it when you're in trouble. That's not the place on the field, Eric, where you want to take a sack deep in your own territory. And a good job by E.T. King just getting rid of the football. Let's see if Arizona tries to sell out for a block here. I'm sure they'd like a safety. Points are points, Eric.
Let's get a look. Now they're content to set up the return. They'll still get good starting field position here, though, as Roscoe Justice will throw a spin move down, and he's going to end up at the 35-yard line of Chicago. We'll see what Arizona can do here with their best starting field position of the night when we return. This is the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, stay with us. .243 left to go here in the opening frame. 3-0 your score, but Arizona with great starting field position here as Ashley Jackson and her offense comes out with a 1st and 10 from the 35. Jackson will take the snap. She'll check it over the middle right away, and that's a catch out to the 30-yard line for a gain of 5. That's Tiberius Bovine with another catch.
Tiberius Bovine, 2nd catch of the game, longest tenured player on this Arizona Scorpions team. He's been with he's been with the team for about 12 seasons now, and still a safety blanket here for Ashley Jackson coming into her 1st game with Arizona, coming over from Tulsa. Sorry, not 1st game, 1st season.
DJ Moses getting a handoff here as he powers through to the 28-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and manageable here for the Scorpions. And Cade, you definitely want to get some points here when you start off with great starting field position at the 35.
Yeah, if you start at the 35 of your opposing team's side of the field, I mean, I feel like you got to make something happen. This is the perfect opportunity for Arizona to get some points on the board, build some momentum, and get back in this football game.
Jackson's going to throw it to the far sideline, tipped up in the air and incomplete. A couple different Wildcats had the opportunity to get the interception there. And Tiberius Bovine was the intended receiver, so it's going to end up being a field goal try here.
Yeah, off the hands of many players there, Eric, but Bovine was indeed one of those players that hit. I think Ashley Jackson probably got away with one there, not having that ball intercepted. A field goal, 3 points, has got to seem like a moral victory in this situation. You hate to ruin such good field position here.
Brian Dynasty, the Week 5 signing for the Scorpions, will try and boot this through from about 45. They'll mark it from 44 as he does boot it up and through, tying the ball game at 3. And that's exactly what you want to see from your new kicker.
Yeah, I mean, you did basically what you could ask for. You got the ball up, nice 44-yard field goal, 3 points on the board. This game is tied, Arizona and Chicago.
And Dynasty is going to tee the football up here and send it back away to Chicago. Now, it's been a very back and forth ball game. Arizona with a quick little hiccup there with the interception thrown on the first possession, but their defense able to kind of keep themselves in the ball game, and that's what happened last week when they played against Queen City, and we called that one, Cade.
Yeah, same thing. Very interesting couple times in a row. But hey, a couple comparisons here we got, Eric. Very interesting for the teams. Points scored, I mean, lower 20s, higher teens. I mean, the offense has been lackluster. Third down percentage, not quite where each team would like to see it. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. As obviously they're at the very bottom in the SFL in third downs converted, so you definitely want to get those numbers up. But certainly plenty of opportunity here as both teams trying to get some sort of offense going. As Ash Odom gets a catch there from E.T. King coming out of the backfield for a gain of 2.
And hey, get them involved how you can. I know the swing pass is very popular, but 2nd and 8, just a couple yard gain. I'm sure they would have liked more out of that, Chicago Wildcats.
We'll set up shop at the 33 here with just over a minute to go here in the first quarter. Arizona smelling a run. They will get to Ash Odom, but Odom just with an impressive set of moves to just barrel over defenders and ends up being a 3rd and short as he gets marked down at the 39, excuse me.
Yeah, great run by Odom, quite honestly, getting around and giving his team a very manageable third down play. That's probably one of the better runs they've had so far in this football game, Chicago. I got to imagine they'd like to convert this play here.
And Odom with an impressive carry, but an impressive run and an impressive hit by Kanye Rockefeller as we get a look at the impact players on defense for the Scorpions. We saw one right there in Kanye Rockefeller. Chad Tackle in his 5th season, his first in Arizona, coming over from Houston. D.D. Sachs, Mark Mello, Alex Constantine, rounding out the defensive line. Joey Tropicana, B.J. Lovelace, we've seen them quite often already. Tanner Hendricks, Monica Naka, Parker Thomas, and Eddie Gage rounds out the secondary for the Scorpions. Hand off again to Ash Odom, and again, good pressure felt by that Scorpions defense as Mello gets in there and makes the stop right at the end of the first quarter. 3-3 your score. We've got plenty more football to come here on 11 Sports and for the fans. This is Simulation Football League. Stay with us on the other side of the break. Second quarter kicking off here in the desert. Eric Vincent alongside my best friend, Cade Stevens. Jacob Clear and Stephen Hacker on stats tonight, down there helping out in the stats truck. We appreciate their efforts as well. As Chicago with the football here, as Ash Odom gets buried right there in the backfield. Joey Tropicana with another big hit.
That's a familiar sight that we've seen this evening. Eric Tropicana in the backfield, letting Ash Odom know that he is there.
So that brings up a 3rd and long now. We talked about it a little bit earlier, Kay, that both these teams struggle here on 3rd down. We'll have to see what the Wildcats have in store here in the gun. Odom sidecar left. King shuffling in the pocket. He's going to air it out deep towards the near sideline. Picked off. Kanye Rockefeller has it, and he's going to get tackled right at the Arizona 29-yard line. A good switch of field position there for the Scorpions.
Yeah, great interception by Rockefeller, reading the quarterback's eyes, knowing where he was going with the football. I'm not sure, quite honestly, if E.T. King really knew where he wanted to go with the football. I think there was pressure in the backfield. He was forced to shuffle left and had to get rid of the ball, and then it ended up in the hands of Kanye Rockefeller.
Yeah, and I got to agree with you there, Kate. It just looks like he was a little bit panicky there in the pocket, had to get rid of the football, had to get it to somebody, and just hoped and prayed on that throw there. Ashley Jackson going to throw here. She's got a first down, and that is out to James' hands as he crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line.
Great route. I don't know if I can say that enough by James' hands to get in and shake the defender. And great read by Ashley Jackson, getting him the football very quickly. Nice catch, nice throw, nice first down. Arizona is going to move those chains.
So some quick action here to start off the second quarter as Arizona is on the move. Jackson feeling the pressure, and she's going to go down.
That's going to be number 71, Gerald Judas-Sessi with the sack, Eric.
Oh, yes, sir. The 3rd-round pick for Chicago. Jackson feels no pressure, though, as she throws it over the middle, and it's picked off again. Jesse Vick with his 2nd interception of the evening.
Vick coming up big once again for Chicago, and these teams are just trading turnovers at this point. I got to imagine the offense would like to get it going, but perhaps that'll be a second-half effort, if I have to imagine.
And again, Kate, it just looked like that you were just forcing that throw on that point. Jesse Vick was running that route better than the wide receiver.
I would wholeheartedly agree. Honestly, it looked like he was the receiver on that play, and both of these quarterbacks have made the same mistakes throughout this game so far, and that is trying to force throws that are just not there.
E.T. King to throw. He's going to throw it up into coverage again and incomplete. The pass was deflected, I believe, by Tropicana again. He's been very, very active this evening.
Eric, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you, that saying quadruple coverage there would be doing justice to the coverage that truly was on the back end of that Arizona Scorpions defense.
I think Mike Dad said it best there in the chat. You get a pick. You get a pick. Everyone gets a pick.
That is the truth. Oh, wide open. Wide open on that particular play. We've got number 10, Corey Carter, catching the ball from E.T. King. I'm not really sure what happened on the secondary. It looks like number 46, we lost Kanye Rockefeller after making a big play earlier in this football game, got lost in coverage, and Corey Carter wide open for the touchdown from E.T. King.
And an impressive route there by Corey Carter to go ahead and give E.T. King an easy target as he just waltzes into the end zone there for the first touchdown of the evening.
First touchdown of the evening, and a nice drive there by Chicago. Honestly, a little after, I guess, some back and forth of trying to turn the ball over and a little bit more suspect of that potentially happening again. Heck of a play call and a nice touchdown for Chicago.
And a good extra point there by Anthony Cece as it is now 10-3 in favor of the Wildcats. A good pitch and catch there of 55 yards from King to Corey Carter as they make it 10 on the board.
Yeah, 10 on the board. Once again, Arizona finds themselves in a situation where they've got to come from behind They've got about 9.5 minutes left in the second quarter before halftime. Receiving the ball here, if I'm Arizona, I mean, I have to imagine as head coach Eddie Gage is thinking something has got to happen here.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with that. And it's been a struggle for Arizona, especially over the past few games or so, to put up points. But still, plenty of time here. 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Plenty of time to get back in this ball game.
Yeah, plenty of time to get in it. Just based off the way they're playing, I think I'm more worried, I guess, than say a team like Queen City, whose offense is very potent. They've struggled here. Arizona's offense has, and once again, going down. Gerald Giudice getting his second sack in just a few snaps.
Yes, sir. 2 tackles, 2 sacks. That's very efficient work there by the rookie, the third-round pick, 59th overall.
A great move on the inside. A signature move, you could say, potentially coming from the rookie. It looked like just an inside swim getting in there and getting to the quarterback, who potentially is just not taking deep enough of a drop to get away from that ferocious defensive line.
Jackson going to swing it out to DJ Moses, trying to make one guy miss, and does, but not the second, as Chicago is ready for that play. Ends up being 3rd and long now for the Scorpions.
Yeah, listen, Eric, I understand you got to make something happen and you've got to gain some yardage, but 2nd and long, I don't know if a 2-yard wheel route to the running back Moses there is really going to build the confidence in the rest of the offense to think that you can get something going here. Jackson and crew have got to make a big play happen here on 3rd down.
Jackson with time. She's going to bomb it out over the middle and caught. Beyond the defense was James Hands, and what a pitch and catch there from Jackson to Hands as they run no huddle.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Great throw and catch. You put the pressure on. As soon as I made the statement they needed to do it, they made it happen. Great throw by Jackson.
Jackson again is going to air it out. This time near sideline, tip drill and picked off. Going the other way is Chicago, and that's Ron Huff fielding the tip drill there. And that was a heck of a play defensively. I really don't know where Ashley Jackson was throwing the football, but a great play on defense by the Wildcats.
Eric, I'm going to be 100% honest with you here, sir. I didn't see the receiver in the frame. In this, now I finally got an idea that they did have someone out there, but a great play from the defense there, knocking the ball back in for Huff to intercept it, and a turnover. Chicago takes back over in great field position.
Hats off to Greg Gaines, swatting that football back in bounds, and Ron Hoff, the man on the spot there, as he's able to get the interception as Ash Odom powers ahead past midfield, actually right to midfield for a 1st down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, nice little play there. Get the ball out, let your running back get upfield, make some moves, and get a 1st down. Nice play by Chicago, extending this out and letting their presence be known here in the desert in Phoenix, Arizona tonight.
Just inside of 8 minutes to go here in the first half, 10-3 in favor of the Wildcats, who are driving, looking to add to that lead before the half. Handoff this time to Ash Odom. Good stiff arm there as he powers ahead to about the 43-yard line. Good gain of 7 on 1st down.
Well, he ran through some people on that one, Eric. He sure did. He carried him. Nice gain and nice breakage of tackles, if you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying, my friend. Mike St. Green there, the Week 4 signing, coming up and trying to make the hit on Big Ash Odom, 6'1", 230, and just wasn't quite cutting the mustard there. 2nd and 3 from the 43. 2 backs in the backfield for the Wildcats. Hand off again to Ash Odom, and again, a good chunk of yardage, this time for 1st down yardage, as he moves those chains.
He does indeed, and Eric, that's not something Chicago has struggled to do so far this year. They have been ranked 6th in the SFL in rushing yards per game so far, 122.5, and Ash Odom has been a big part of that.
Absolutely, and they brought in Mike Improta this season as well with the 13th overall pick. He has been adding some very impressive blocks himself as E.T. King throws it in the coverage, and that ends up being incomplete. Mike St. Green, amongst others, in coverage there.
Not sure if E.T. once again thought he saw something or potentially just panicked on that play, but there was not a lot doing back in the secondary of Arizona.
6:42 frozen on the clock. I formation this time for King and company. Hand off. Odom trying to follow some blockers. Goes absolutely nowhere. Good stop there by Eddie Gage, the Hall of Famer, along with Mike St. Green.
Eddie Gage, way to come up in the backfield. And this is exactly why you've mentioned Hall of Famer in that sentence, Eric. Comes up in the backfield, makes a really, really nice tackle on Ash Odom. And that's what he's known for. Somebody they can count on, Eddie Gage.
3rd and long now for King. He's alone in the gun. He's going to fire it out in the middle of the field. Caught J.C. Torres with the first down catch into the SFL red zone down at the 13-yard line with 6 and counting to go.
A very nice catch by J.C. Torres and a great throw by E.T. King after a couple suspect ones prior to that. Just threads the needle in between defenders right down to just about the 12 or 13-yard line. Chicago's going to have another opportunity to score here.
And hats off to J.C. Torres because he ran that route beautifully, cut right in front of Kanye Rockefeller, who is no slouch in coverage.
Not at all. Yeah, great point, sir.
I formation again for the Wildcats. Handoff to Ash Odom as he gets buried just beyond the line of scrimmage. And that's Joey Tropicana again. He's been very, very active. I feel like I've been saying his name all over the place.
Yeah, this game has been, Tropicana has been there. The guy has been up making plays between him and B.J. Lovelace. The linebacking core for Arizona is no slouch, and running against him, despite being ranked, 19th in the SFL in rush yards per game, these guys have made some plays tonight, Eric.
And they're still making plays here as they get some pressure on the quarterback there. This time it was the secondary for Arizona. Parker Thomas getting up there and laying the big hit there on J.C. Torres. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, quite honestly, outside of it seems to me like it's like stop, big play. Like if they could quit giving up the big plays, this defense would be in much higher standing than what they are.
King gonna check it down to Odom. Odom having a hard time getting out of the backfield, and no wonder there's 2 or 3 Scorpions there to greet him right at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to end up being a 4th down. Parker Thomas, Kanye Rockefeller, amongst others.
Yeah, these Scorpions so far, outside of, like I said, Eric, outside of a few big plays, they're really showing out. And these special uniforms tonight for their hometown Phoenix crowd.
Both teams sporting the saucy uniforms. Chicago with the throwbacks and Arizona sporting the fluorescent uniforms. Definitely standing out on the football field tonight. 26-yarder here for Cece as he boots it up and through. The marker from 27. 10-point lead now for the Wildcats as Arizona will get the football back with just inside of 4 minutes left to go here. Stay with us. You're watching Simulation Football League action on 11 Sports and for the fans. Chicago about to boot the football down the field after adding 3 points to their lead. 13-3 your score here in the desert, Phoenix, Arizona, as the hometown Scorpions get another crack at it here. Fielded just inside of the goal line is Roscoe Justice. He likes that spin move, and he'll get the equivalent of a touchback out to the 20-yard line.
Well, this is a big opportunity here, quite honestly, Eric, for Ashley Jackson and this Arizona Scorpions offense. I got to imagine down 13-3, the offense has struggled to turn the ball over a couple of times now. At least I have to imagine you want a sustained drive.
Got to have some sort of sustained drive here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a touchdown, but certainly points on the board would be great as DJ Moses gets a good carry there, and we'll get a look at the Chicago Wildcats run defense over the past few seasons. And Cade, uh, they weren't looking too great in season 11 and 12, but these past couple seasons, they have been tops in the SFL, second both last year and the year and this year as well.
And there's no coincidence between that ranking and the fact that this is the second season for Ash Odom here with Chicago.
Jackson gonna throw towards the near sideline, and that's intercepted again. This time by Greg Gaines. He didn't want to tip it to a teammate. He wanted it all for himself as he gets the pick right there.
And you get a pick, and you get a pick, and you get a pick. And unfortunately, Ashley Jackson is the one giving these picks away, Eric. Nice play there by Gaines to get up and take the ball away. It's been an impressive showing so far for the defensive secondaries, but the quarterbacks have got to be wanting a few of these back.
Yeah, 100%. And even Ash, the running attack has not been all that great here for Chicago either. So it's not like E.T. King could really go to anybody to kind of lean on, because this is what's been happening all night long. The linebacking core of Arizona has just been absolutely unbelievable. As Tropicana gets in for another stop, Alex Constantine on the defensive line gets in there. That's what is bringing up all sorts of issues here for both teams.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been the sledding has been tough all the way around. And it seems like as soon as things seem like they're going better, right, for both offenses, all of a sudden it's another turnover, or it's another hurdle, or it's a sack, or it's a fumble. It's just getting things going have been absolutely rough. And that's not the first time that we've seen Ash Odom have a nice 7-yard run like that. But the real trick here, Eric, is going to be to see if they can actually make something out of it. It's 3rd and 3. Very manageable 3rd and 3 from the Arizona 41-yard line. If they do not make this first down, I have to imagine there could be an attempt to go for it.
King, probably the last play before the 2-minute warning. Pressure's coming. He's going to air it out towards the far sideline. Open down inside the 20 at the 15-yard line.
Absolutely phenomenal catch on that play. I believe that was tight end Shan Varner getting wide open on the outside post. Great catch and a great throw by E.T. King, quite under pressure. The pocket was collapsing around him, and he made just a heck of a throw to the tight end, who made a very nice catch, sets him up on a 1st and 10 inside the Arizona 20-yard line.
2 minutes to go here in the opening frame. We'll see what Chicago has in store for us here. Field goal, touchdown, will they turn it over? Stay with us. You're watching Simulation Football League action on 11 Sports and for the fans. Two minutes to go here in the first half in the desert, Phoenix, Arizona, as the Chicago Wildcats looking to add to their lead. Already up 10, and with the football inside the SFL red zone at the 15. King takes it from the gun, throws it into coverage, and is incomplete. That was a quick throw and a quick decision. I'm just not sure who he was seeing there, Cade.
Unless BJ Loveless was actually the intended receiver on that play, Eric, I genuinely have no idea what the thought process was for E.T. King, but I guess you could say that about both quarterbacks so far in this game. They've made some very questionable throws, and it's resulted in 4 total interceptions in this game so far.
Second down, handoff to Ash Odom, who's trying to find a hole in his line there, and instead finds black jerseys everywhere, as that's another tackle made by Mike St. Green.
Yeah, Mike St. Green, nice play, honestly, by him, getting up there and stopping the running back, Ash Odom, for limited gain. And Chicago here, they can still get a first down, folks, if they can get to the 5-yard line, but it is 3rd and 9 from the Arizona 14.
Clock's still ticking, too. Chicago with all 3 timeouts. King shuffling in the pocket, throws it over the middle, and that's caught. Shan Varner with the first down inside the 5 and down to the 2.
Yeah, the big tight end, Shan Varner, 6'6", 215 pounds. I'm actually very surprised it's taken as long as it has for E.T. King to try to go to his safety blanket in Shan Varner. He's had a couple of really big catches in the last couple of drives.
Heavy backfield here. Ash Odom's going to take the hand off, and he fumbles the football, and he crosses the goal line, and Arizona is going to cover it up. They're going to get it right at their own goal line. What a disaster here for Chicago.
Wow, I got to see this one back. I really thought he crossed the plane on that one, but man, oh man, maybe I could be wrong. And a nice play by the defense, and knocking that football out. Eddie Gage coming in at the goal line and knocking the ball out. That was a crazy turn of events. Let's see what they say here, Eric.
And the booth is going to review this play. I'm with you, Cade. I thought he crossed the goal line, so let's get another look. That's a really crappy angle, so we're going to have a hard time really seeing if that's how he crossed the goal line. The other ones that we saw, it really did look like he had crossed it, so we'll have to see what old Ref 62 has to say here. And the ruling on the field is overturned. It's going to be a touchdown here for Chicago as, man, Hash Odom has got to be thanking his lucky stars that he crossed the plane before he dropped that ball.
Oh, for sure. And let's not discredit Eddie Gage on this play, coming in and making a heck of a play to try to jar that football loose just about 6 inches back the other way. And there's potential there that was a fumble and a heck of a recovery down at what it would have been about the 2-inch yard line for Arizona. But a luck out here and a nice score for Chicago, who's going to take a very commanding lead, 20-3 against Arizona at their home stadium in Phoenix, Arizona.
7-play, 48-yard drive capped off with that 2-yard touchdown run. And stay tuned. We are game 1 of 2. Charleston is going to be visiting the Dakotas to take on the Sioux Falls Sparrows following this game at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. We will certainly be watching for that one, as we've now hit 56 seconds left to go here in the opening frame, or the opening half, excuse me. As Chicago, as Cade said a moment ago, taking a commanding lead, 20-3 here, and still enforcing their dominance on the special teams as they knock down Roscoe Justice at the 24-yard line.
Well, Arizona's got to have something happen here, I have to imagine. I know I've said that a time or two to get going, but that's just knowledge of how this offense has worked so far this season. When they let themselves get too far behind is the 17-point deficit that they face right now. They've not been the best team in the league as far as coming back. So barring some sort of miracle or some sort of click in energy here, I don't see Arizona making up the deficit that they face against Chicago right now. And that play on first down to lose 3 yards is not a good start.
No, certainly not a good start. And that's a loss of 3 on first down. Ends up being 2nd and 13. Arizona not in any hurry to really burn any sort of timeouts and stop the clock. So I'm sure that they're wanting to just kind of go into the locker room, lick their wounds, and come out with a fresh start. They do get the football here in the second half, so that's certainly good news for Scorpions fans, as James Hands gets a catch there after barreling over the defender. He's going to be out of bounds at the 29-yard line, 15 seconds to go here.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of routes, quite honestly, that they need to look to. Jackson, great throw and a great catch by James Hands on the sideline. To give him a 3rd and 5 is go with the safe ones. Get what you can get right now. Take what the defense is going to give you. Do not try to force anything. There's no reason to go out there and try to make something happen and try to turn the football over again. It seems like that's something that they have done a few times throughout this football game. And unfortunately, on 3rd down there, Eric, they're going to try to throw it out to tight end Tiberius Bovine, and it was just a little too far out of his reach.
Yeah, and Tiberius Bovine was one of those impressive weapons that the Scorpions have that didn't get used nearly as often the week before. He's certainly a little bit more active in the ball game tonight, but still Arizona just struggling mightily to get any sort of offense going, as they're going to have to punt it here on 4th and 5. 12 seconds to go, though, so not really a whole lot of opportunity for Chicago to do any more damage, as the punt will be fielded just inside of the 35-yard line and out to about the 43. 3 seconds to go here. And I'd have to imagine we're going to see a quick run play or a kneel down.
Yeah, I have to imagine Chicago's got to be pretty comfortable going into halftime with a 20-3 lead. And Eric, I got to ask you, sir, going into the second half, I mean, what do you have to imagine that Arizona's got to get done to get back in this football game?
I'm really not certain. They haven't really gone to DJ Moses a ton, but it's not really anything that I expect them to. As ET King is going to heave a prayer here, just about the 15-yard line is going to be picked off by Arizona. So a little bit of a blemish there for ET King going into the half as we hit triple zeros. But honestly, Kate, you might want to mix it up a little bit. Just go to the run game and see what DJ Moses can give you. As he is coming in his second season. Didn't really get a ton of yardage last week. Plenty of opportunity this week here as you're down 17 going into the half.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. They haven't really seen what he could do. One thing that Chicago did at the beginning of the game that Arizona might want to try to copy if they can is when it wasn't quite working, they just kept chipping with Ash Odom, and things really started to open up. Rushing yards so far, as you can see on the screen, Chicago 35 yards to, unfortunately, Arizona's just 12 yards, with DJ Moses just 3 carries, which is very surprising statistic for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And hats off to the Chicago defense. Holding Arizona Scorpions to under 100 yards in the first half, that is certainly something to hang your hat on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's, I mean, a phenomenal job by the defense. And honestly, both secondaries have done a good job. Despite Chicago's success in their lead, not without fault, as E.T. King has turned the ball over a couple of times as well, including one time right there before halftime, which, I don't know, you can mark that one up as you will, but that's just, I would say, an effort of trying to make something happen.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that. I don't think you need to really hate on E.T. King too much for that. That's just the way that the game plan goes, trying to get more points on the board there. Can't rest on your laurels at all. And, it just is what it is. And there's his first pick there to Kanye Rockefeller. That was a bit of a head scratcher there as well.
Yeah, a bit of a head scratcher, and then they're going to go ahead and go down the list here. It appears Eric's showing just a few of these interceptions, but, it's all right. I mean, both of the offenses have got work to do. Excuse me, but I have to imagine that Arizona's got to be feeling a little bit worse about their effort than Chicago does.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely some adjustments that need to be made here in the locker room as we get a look at that impressive tip drill there over to the Hoff, getting his interception on the evening, and Greg Gaines with the tip drill there to tip it on over to Ron Hoff for the interception. That was probably the highlight of the first half, I'd have to say.
Yeah, I mean, as far as defensive play goes, yeah, I have to agree with old Griffin King. 77 in the chat there, shout out, SC top 10 nominee in my personal opinion to keep that ball in bounds and to intercept it. Heck of a play, honestly, heck of a play.
And this was a heck of a play too. How many times have we seen defenders just kind of let up as the running back or the ball carrier gets close to the goal line? Not this time, as Eddie Gage just goes full blown right into the football and pops it loose there.
Yeah, impressive. I mean, like I said, had he just done that just a few inches sooner, there's a potential that does not get overturned, and that's a turnover, and saves Arizona about 7 points on that one. But here we go, anyways, folks. We're gonna have Arizona. I'm sorry, we're gonna have Chicago kicking off here to Arizona to start the second half. We'll see if Arizona's offense can pick up and get something going. I'm sure that any points or any sort of sustained drive would be worth an extra bit of motivation.
And we'll see as Roscoe Justice gets a shoulder laid on him by one of the defenders there. Extra special teamers by Chicago. Trying to see who that was. That was Ryan Yosef actually getting in there, one of the extra tight ends. He was a week 3 signing back a couple weeks, so good play by him on special teams, certainly showing his worth on the team as Arizona gets a crack here. I formation, handoff to DJ Moses, trying to lower his shoulder but meets two Chicago Wildcats defenders, and that's a good start there for Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before the half and even into the half. See what you can figure out in the run game, right? That's not something that they explored a lot in the first half. They ran the ball 3 times in the first half. And when you've got a guy like DJ Moses in the backfield, I just don't know how that's something that you can rest on and be satisfied with. So see what you got. Run it some more. A great first down play and another. Look at this run on second down,
Run
Eric.
some
I
more,
mean,
baby.
keep the legs churning, baby. Let's go.
DJ Moses with another carry. And we'll get another look here, Cade. But man, that was an impressive run there, bouncing off tackle, following blockers.
Yeah, great run, and I got to get just an absolute ton of credit to the guard who came out and took out Blake B. Craze right there. A nice block and tripped him up, opened up a nice hole for Moses to just chug along there. And here we are in a no back set shotgun. Interesting play choice there after a couple successful runs.
Yeah, 100% is Ashley Jackson. Just kind of airs out, and it looked like it was a little bit of a duck there. Trying to find somebody to catch the football, airs it out of bounds. Excuse me, ends up being a second down. And just under 10 minutes to go here, as we look at Gerald Giudice, he's been very efficient down there at the front line. 2 tackles, and both of those were sacks. So we'll have to see what he's got in store for us here. Second down from the 38. Jackson going to throw it over to James' hands as he was coming across the line of scrimmage out to about the 43-yard line, third down.
Boy, when Ashley Jackson dropped back to throw that football, I'm not kidding you. I saw Tiberius Bovine, the tight end number 89, down on the bottom. I thought was absolutely wide open, and I thought that's where the football was going, quite honestly. And hands kind of snuck up, and I think plucked that one out of the air. I'm not really sure what the intended target was originally, but Bovine's going to go ahead and make up for that one there, Eric, and get a first down for the Arizona offense.
Yeah, and that was a good-looking play there as they do get it out to Tiberius Bovine on third down, able to move those chains.
Move those chains, indeed. Move those chains, indeed. Get the Bovine's one of those players, the tight end. Been in the league a long time. We talked about that earlier in the football game, but when you get him involved, I've seen the Arizona offense a bit more, I guess, productive, you could say. So it'd be interesting to see if they try to get it back to him. Started this drive with, they sure do, yeah. Started this drive with a couple of good runs, and they're getting Bovine involved, and we're watching them move the football here.
Yeah, this is honestly the best drive I think that Arizona has had all game long, as a good chunk of yards ends up being moved into Chicago territory, 2nd and 2 from the 41. And it's been a good mix of run and pass. DJ Moses getting involved in the offense here. Tiberius Bovine, a huge factor as well, as Moses is going to get a handoff and gets buried just before the first down marker. Clint Hendershot getting in there and laying the lumber.
Hendershot really with the first down saving tackle there, Eric.
As we get a look at the total tackle leaders this season, and a couple of these big-time names in this ball game tonight, as B.J. Lovelace sitting in there at 47 total. Blake Craze, another big defensive name in there at 45.
Yeah, we've heard both of their names a couple of times tonight. B.J. Lovelace very involved early on, and Blake B. Craze he's not showing up on the stat sheet so much, but there's been a few times where he's made some really nice plays. Once again, Arizona getting back to the running game right there with DJ Moses getting a first down. It's worked for him so far on this drive. Be interesting to see if they stay with it.
Definitely a good playbook here for Arizona as they're going to throw it across the middle. This time caught by Tiberius Bovine again. He's been very active on this drive. And Cade, he had not a single catch to speak for just a week ago.
Yeah, just a week. Very surprising, actually. And I think that led to a lot of offensive woe that Arizona saw in that game against Queen City. But Bovine in this particular game has been active on this drive in particular. And as you can see, it's led to a bit more success for Ashley Jackson and the Scorpions offense.
Jackson going to throw again. She's going to check it down to Moses, who's trying to make a man miss. Gets stood up just behind the line of scrimmage. And a good play there by Maurice Spurgeon getting in there and standing him up while waiting for his buddies to come in and lay the lumber on.
I got to give Spurgeon a ton of credit here coming in from the free safety position to lay the wood on Moses and stop him for a loss. I mean, think about the ground this guy had to cover to get back there.
Jackson on 3rd and 6, going to throw it near sideline, caught by hands, but out of bounds. Couldn't quite complete the catch in bounds, and that's going to end up being a 4th down and a field goal attempt for Arizona.
And it wasn't a bad read at all by Ashley Jackson and a good route by James Hands. Quite honestly, I think it just needed to get there a little sooner. Arizona's going to challenge just to see if they had control inbounds. I'm not so sure they did, but I do believe it was the right read. I just think it needed to get there a little bit sooner.
This is a tricky one here, Cade, because looking at it, he did get the foot, but I'm not sure at what point he got the foot. Yeah, that's looking like it's out of bounds to me. Yeah, and the pass is going to be ruled incomplete. So Arizona will lose a timeout on that unsuccessful challenge, but I'd have to say it was worth getting into the look there.
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt. It really can't, especially at this point in the game. I mean, you're not what are you missing out on by trying to at least review it and see if the refs made the right choice, especially down as far as you are. I am a little surprised they're going to try to punt it here and not at least try to boot a long field goal.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's certainly no gimme from this point as Chicago tries to come for the block. But you got to get points on the board as the gunner for Arizona tries to make a little pirouette and down it inside the 5. But his buddies will go ahead and do that anyway, down at the 4-yard line. And that is where Chicago will take over here on the other side of the break. Stay with us for more Simulation Football League action live on 11 Sports and for the fans. Inside the 5-yard line is where the Wildcats set up shop. 6:40 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Eric Vincent alongside my best friend Cade Stevens, Stephen Hacker, helping us out in the stats truck tonight as the Scorpions' run defense again showing their teeth, showing their stingers as they mark him for a loss of 1 there. Joey Tropicana again.
Loss of 1. I feel it very important, and a big shout out to stats there with Stephen Hacker. For those who weren't aware, the drive for Arizona was their longest drive of the game. 12 plays, 41 yards, ultimately culminated in a punt.
Quick handoff to Ash Odom again and again. Joey Tropicana, Johnny on the spot there, making another big stop. 2 plays, only about a yard there.
Yeah, just unfortunate series of events there as far as trying to get the ball out of deep in their own territory. Chicago's got to make something happen here. I fully expect another run to Ash Odom, quite honestly, here on 3rd down. Either that or a nice swing pass out of the backfield.
King instead is going to air it out. He's got a wide open man, and that's caught. Corey Carter in there making a huge catch, and he's had a couple of those tonight.
Yeah, I guess Chicago had none of what I had to say there. Great throw and catch from E.T. King to Corey Carter for a 1st down out at about the 22-23-yard line for Chicago.
Yeah, they certainly weren't having any of what you said there, man. Just going ahead and airing it out.
As I've said in weeks past, Eric, I do take payment for talking trash about certain individuals so that they'll do better.
Oh, I like that. Gonna have to open that up as a side gig as King gets absolutely leveled. Man, what a play by the defensive lineman getting in there. That was Mark Mello with the huge sack.
Yeah, great play by Mello going in and just untouched, not even stopped by the right guard or right tackle. Walks in between the two and just lets E.T. King know that he's there.
Just eaten alive in the backfield there. The 3rd overall pick. 6'6", 295 there. showing his speed and his grit as again E.T. King is going to go down, this time from the top edge as, man, Arizona is just laying the lumber right.
Yeah, Joey Tropicana getting back in there. I mean, we've called his name just an absolute ton so far in this football game, Eric, and he gets back there for his first sack of the football game.
So 3rd and about 3 miles now for Chicago. King takes the snap. He's going to air it out deep because why not? And why not? It's Davius Reed. Almost gets the first down. My mind would have just come unglued at that point, Kay, but Arizona able to hold him to a 4th down.
Yeah, Tanner Hendricks on that particular play made an absolutely saving tackle to stop them from getting a first down on what appeared to be doomsday for the Arizona Scorpions defense. I still cannot believe that they got as close as they did on a 3rd and long.
Darian Franken with another punt here. Justice to field it right around the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll mark him down. When we return, Arizona gets another crack at the football. Down by 17. Got to get some points on the board. Stay with us. Simulation Football League action returns on the 11 Sports Network. Back here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, as we get a look at Fatality Field. Home of the Scorpions, as they get another crack at the football, down 17 to the visiting Chicago Wildcats. The Scorpions coming out in their beautiful fluorescent uniforms tonight, and Chicago sporting their throwback jerseys. So beautiful uniforms and threads to be worn on the field tonight, as Moses gets a carry out to about the 32-yard line, no gain.
Yeah, I mean, I give them credit. At least they're trying to get back to the run with Moses to see if something can happen. But a nice play by number 59 linebacker Clint Hendershot to get back there and stop him for no gain on the play.
Jackson going to be under center this time. Single back is Moses. Jackson will throw. She's going to throw it quickly into coverage, tipped up in the air and complete. Again, great coverage out there by Greg Gaines, and Maurice Spurgeon had an opportunity at the pick had he not tackled the receiver.
Oh, he sure did. And Gaines is probably kicking himself just a little bit over the fact that he knocked the ball down instead of picking it off. It looked like a pretty easy interception. But Spurgeon, got to hit the receiver a little. Got to let him know you're there. I think if he knew maybe the ball wasn't going to be there, perhaps it's not quite a tackle and maybe an attempt at an interception. But let him know he was there anyways.
It was a good hit, too. I'm certain, you know me, I'm a defensive guy. I'm not going to shy away from a hit.
Not a day in my life.
3rd and 10 now from the 32, 3:18 to go. Jackson to throw. Near sideline caught. Again, this time out of bounds. And it's James Hands again. He's got to work on that toe drag swag a little bit there, Cade.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to focus on going into next week. They're going to challenge it again, believe it or not, to see if he was in bounds. But I got to stick with the ruling here if it's me, and I just don't think he got in just like last time. I think it was close, but I had no cigar.
Yeah, I got to agree with you as well, my friend. It looked a little close, but I don't know.
Well, perhaps we were incorrect there. That was awfully close. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and overturn this one here, folks. It looks like he did get 1 foot in bounds. So they're going to, not that it makes too much of a difference, perhaps, but yeah, they're going to go ahead and overturn this play.
It was a little close. Looking at it, you could go one way or the other. I'm not really sure. Either way, ends up being short of first down, so I'm not sure exactly what good it does for you there, but either way, I don't know. A little bit of a shrugger there.
I'm with you. Don't know the thought process considering they were going to punt it anyways. But, hey, listen, if that's the Moral victory you need to give yourself then. Go ahead and take it.
I absolutely, some steps in the right direction, good moral victory. I agree with you there.
It's something. It's something.
It's something. They got that going for
Which is nice.
them. First and 10 from the 30-yard line this time for the Wildcats as they've got a commanding lead here with 3:08 to go in the third. Four wideouts, empty set for E.T. King to work with. Takes a snap. Pressure's coming immediately. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down. Chad Tackle ate him alive immediately.
Yeah, Chad Tackle back there. I can only laugh at the situation, Eric. It just center Tony Henderson just got absolutely annihilated by Chad Tackle, getting back into the backfield and just swallowing up E.T. King with some help from Joey Tropicana, a name we've heard about 5,000 times this evening because he's just been that good.
No kidding. And it's a shame that Arizona just hasn't quite been able to stick around in this ball game with the way that their defense has been playing, as Chicago will get a good pass play back out to the original line of scrimmage. That's JC Torres on the catch.
Yeah, Torres, another a player, honestly, for Chicago that's been quite involved. Just not necessarily in the big play, but when it counts. I mean, I got to say that particular play means something because now you've given yourself a 3rd and 10 as opposed to a 3rd and very, very long. Chicago's got an opportunity to get a first down here and bleed quite a bit more clock to try to keep Arizona out of this football game.
Yeah, Scorpions got to get a stop here, and looks like they will as Shane Varner will make the catch, but shy of the line to gain. Good stop by B.J. Lovelace, and this linebacking core of Arizona, we've said it several times tonight, Kay, but they've been balling out.
They've been very good, and Eric, I'm going to be quite honest with you. When E.T. King goes to the sideline and he watches the film on these last couple of plays, he's going to kick himself because he had number 10 wide receiver Corey Carter running wide open over the center of the field. And if he throws it just a little bit further to wide receiver Corey Carter, boy, that's going a long way as opposed to coming up short on 3rd down.
Roscoe Justice with a little nifty return for him as he makes it out to the 36-yard line of Arizona. And Cade, we just haven't had a whole lot of action here in the second half. Great stat here provided to me by Stephen Hacker. All drives in the second half, all punts.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's just been that kind of football game so far here in the second half. If Ashley Jackson and crew have something to say about it, I'm sure that they would like to make something happen, but a drop there on an out route by Roscoe Justice is just not really what they were looking for in this situation.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And it's, again, it's tough because Arizona's defense has played extraordinarily well. Despite the 20 points that are on the board, they've made some big-time plays tonight.
Yeah, they sure have. The linebacking core especially, we've talked about that, but they have been phenomenal, Eric.
Absolutely. As DJ Moses gets a carry here, and he will make it out to about the 37-yard line. Gerald Giudice getting in there with another tackle.
Yeah, Giudice, another nice play, a tackle for what potentially could have been a loss, is trying to make his mark on being voted potentially player of the game if Chicago can hang on and keep going. But a great play by him. We've got no backs in the backfield here and 4 wide receivers. Be interesting to see what Ashley Jackson and the Arizona Scorpions try to pull off on this one. She's going long. That's going to be picked off.
Oh, man.
Once again, Eric. Jesse Vick coming back for another one.
But, man, that was a one-handed snag right there, Cade. What a pick.
Boy, that was
coming
impressive.
Back there for more.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you can't get enough, you just can't get enough. And as far as I'm concerned, with Jesse Vick, number 26, the cornerback there, 6'3", 205 pounds. Boy, he's 6'3", but he must have got up there on that one. That was a phenomenal interception, just one-handed. Chicago is going to go ahead and take back over, and that's just been indicative of how this game has gone for Arizona's offense so far.
Yeah, just cannot get anything going through the air. You do not want to throw the football anymore on this secondary, just with the way that they've been showing out. And Ash Odom is showing out here, trying to turn on the afterburners. But, man, was that Chad Tackle that just chased him down from the defensive line?
Yeah, listen, no disrespect to the big guy's tackle with some wheels on him got down there to try to catch Ash Odom and save a touchdown.
Solid play there by the defensive front. as Ash Odom, with his best run of the evening, brings it out to the 40-yard line of the Scorpions. He is the single back once again for Chicago. He's going to get the swing pass. He's got a blocker out there. Cannot avoid the one-on-one tackler. That's St. Green getting in there. As we get a look at the quarterback's numbers, and it just has not been Ashley Jackson's night.
Nah, it unfortunately the slump continues for Jackson in the Arizona offense. Unable to get going and unable to get to the end zone. It's just the third quarter, almost the end of the third quarter. But if Arizona fails to score here, this will be 2 games in a row where they did not reach the end zone.
And another great tackle there by Joey Tropicana as he gets in there, sheds the block, and is able to pretty much body slam Ash Odom into the turf. And that more than likely will be our final play of the third quarter. Everybody get your fours up in the chat. We still got one more frame to go. Arizona with plenty of opportunity to even things up. Let's see what happens on the other side of the break. You're watching Simulation Football League action on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Back here for the fourth quarter here in Phoenix, Arizona. Chicago with a 3rd and 2. Trying to move the chains and bleed more of that clock as King throws it into a whole bunch of bodies. Both Chicago and Arizona alike. Ends up being incomplete. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, that looked like that was a little bit of a hornet's nest there that he tried to throw it into. Led by number 20 cornerback Tanner Hendricks to break that football up. But, yeah, 4th and 2. It looks like they're going to try to go ahead and go for the 3 here.
Yeah, CC's going to attempt a long one here. It's going to be 47, 48 yards. High snap, gets it down. It is going to be up and through from 48 yards. Certainly no gimme. Hats off to Anthony CC as he boots through another one and lengthens the lead to 20.
Yeah, Eric, I got to imagine after that field goal there to bring the score to 23-3 via the Chicago Wildcats, that barring some sort of miracle, I can't imagine Arizona getting their offense in gear enough to try to come back and make this a football game.
It's going to be a toughie, that's for sure, as Chicago caps off a 5-play, 33-yard drive with the field goal make there. Fielded at about the goal line is Roscoe Justice, and he's going to bring it out to the 23-yard line as we get a look at Donnie Hands here. And hey, what do you do with your hands? I mean, Donnie has been super quiet tonight. Really haven't seen a ton of yardage for him as he's got 17 yards on 3 targets. But man, he's been very, very hot coming into this ball game.
Yeah, coming into this game, he's been a lot better than what we've seen so far, and I got to give a ton of credit to the Chicago Wildcats defense keeping that in check. As you saw on that graphic there, he's been averaging almost 20 yards a catch tonight. He's been very far from that.
Very, very quiet evening for him as DJ Moses gets a swing pass from Ashley Jackson out to about the 25-yard line, gain of 3.
And I mean, you know, it's a little something. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Find a way to get a rhythm on offense here. Arizona needs that more than anything. Despite the score, I don't think I get quite away from the run yet if I am them.
Offset I. Jackson, deep drop, looking downfield. He's going to throw it near sideline instead and caught by Tiberius Bovine. Very important catch there as he moves those chains.
Move the chains. Tiberius Bovine, number 89, once again coming in and making a nice catch, helping the quarterback out on that particular play. That's going to give him a first down. As you said, Eric, they're going to move the chains and once again line up and see if they can try to make something happen here.
Quick handoff to DJ Moses, trying to squeak through the line and find some running room, and he does out to about the 41-yard line for a gain of 6.
Yeah, a nice little run there. I mean, a little inside left juke and a spin cycle, I guess you could say, to try to get away. But a nice play, regardless, to get up there and give Arizona a very manageable 2nd and 4 here at their own 41-yard line. They're going to line up in the offset I formation on 2nd and 4. Arizona is Jackson under the gun.
As Moses will get another handoff here, and he gets it out to the 45-yard line, exactly right where he needed to be, and that's going to be a first down for the Scorpions.
Yeah, first down, Moses once again. I mean, this is one of those things, Eric, we got to wonder to ourselves, and I'm sure everybody out there feels the same way. Where was the attempt to try to get this run game going in the first half for the Scorpions? If they would have made more of an effort, there's a potential this game could be closer. The passing game just was not working, but the run game has been relatively solid most of the game.
Jackson again with a deep drop, deep throw into the middle of the field. That's caught. Donnie Hands finally making a big splash play for the Scorpions and getting a big first down for the Arizona.
Well, they must have heard you call his name. Donnie Hands, they say, going up and making a good play. Ashley Jackson trusting her wide receiver there to make something happen. She hit him on a very nice route down the field. Puts the ball at the Chicago 25-yard line. It's not too late to try to make something happen here, folks. We're just saying it's not very likely.
8.5 minutes to go. We'll have to see. Chicago showing blitz. DJ Moses with a nifty couple of moves here, following blockers and making it out to the Chicago 18-yard line. In the SFL red zone we go here.
Yeah, great run. And honestly, Moses has the speed that if he cuts outside instead of cutting back inside, there's a potential he goes for about another 5 or 6 yards. But cut inside, and you know what? It's okay. It worked out for him. 2nd down and 3. Again, we're going to have an offset I. 2 wide receivers to the right for Jackson on 2nd and 3.
Getting the carry here, Cade, as he plows ahead here to about the 16. Gained about 1.5 yards and probably could have gone for more, but a good tackle there by Blake B. Craze.
Hey, B. Craze getting up in there and making his name be known. We heard him earlier once in the game, and he's been relatively quiet for the season that he's had so far, but it's 3rd down and 1 here for Arizona.
Big time play here for the Scorpions as Moses is going to plow ahead, met right in the middle by Clint Hendershot, but it is no use for the Wildcats as Moses gets what he needed to get for a first down.
Boy, and Hendershot just absolutely did everything he could to try to stand him up and prevent that first down. It just was not quite enough, and a great run there by DJ Moses to get the first down.
Jackson a throw. Throws it over the middle into coverage, and a good snag by the veteran Bovine as he is able to move into the inside the 5-yard line down at the 4 for 1st and goal.
Yeah, great throw and catch. Quite honestly, I thought that was going to be picked off. A heck of a play by Bovine to get in there. Blake B. Craze came across the middle and what looked like should have been an interception, but Jackson squeezed the ball in there, did an awesome job getting the ball to the receiver.
So we'll see what they can do here. 6.5 minutes to go. Got to keep things close here. Jackson hands it off to Moses, who brings it right up the middle of the field, and he will get dragged down right at the 2-yard line.
And Eric, don't be surprised if you see another run to Moses here on 2nd and goal. I understand the clock is ticking away, but this is something that has worked for them so far. If you do not see a run to Moses, I look to see tight end Tiberius Bovine involved here on 2nd down.
2nd and goal from the 2. Hand off to Moses. A little slow getting out of the backfield as Hendershot takes advantage of it and stops him right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and goal.
Hendershot really showing up big here in the second half as far as making some key stops. And as I called before, Moses thought a pretty safe bet considering how things have gone so far. At 3rd and goal from the Chicago 2-yard line, I'm not so sure I see a run play here. They're stacking up in a strong formation, 2 wide receivers. See what happens. Hey, and they run it.
They do run it, and he looked very, very close to the end zone, but there is a penalty marker on the field. I'm not sure what exactly it is. Might be an offsides.
Clipping, number 12, offense.
Oh, no,
Ooh.
It's going to be clipping.
Not what you want to see on the offensive side. You gave yourself an opportunity to go for it on 4th down, even if it was short. And here you've put yourself in a little bit of a hole.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a hole here for the Scorpions, as they're going to be met with a 3rd and long. Actually, it looks like Chicago's going to decline the penalty, so it's going to end up being a chippy field goal.
It appears they declined it for a... yeah, interesting.
An interesting choice. I wouldn't have necessarily gone that route, but Arizona adds 3 to the scoreboard. 23-6 now. In favor of the Chicago Wildcats. A little bit of a head scratcher there, Kate. I'm not sure why Chicago would go that route.
Yeah, 2 head scratchers, I'll say there, Eric, if you really want to get technical on it. Why they would decline it, I am not sure. And then why you wouldn't go for it from about the 2-inch yard line down 20 in the game, I'm also not sure. So a couple of head scratchers, Eric.
Valid points, my friend, as Arizona will boot it down the field. Fielded by Davius Reed. He will bring it out to close to the 30-yard line, marked down at the 29, as Chicago has 5 minutes to burn through, and Arizona with only 2 timeouts.
Arizona with just 2 timeouts, and Arizona with their longest sustained drive of the game so far, 13 plays, 63 yards, and they settled for a field goal on about the foot-yard line of Chicago.
I formation is what Chicago comes out in. Handoff to Ash Odom, a desperate attempt for the tackler there as Mark Mello was trying to drag him down right at the line of scrimmage. It looks like Odom gets a gain of 4 on 1st down.
Gain of 4 on 1st down. I mean, at this point, if you're Chicago, you got to just, I imagine they just want to kind of bleed this clock out. They got about 4, just more than north of 4.5 left in this football game. Not that we're saying that Arizona's offense could get going enough to try to make something happen, but just that 1st down there is going to make it awfully tough. He did get out of bounds and stop the clock, though. Shan Varner, that is, 88 tight end on the catch for a 1st down.
Yeah, 100%, Cade. Like, if they wanted any sort of shot at getting back in this football game, they needed to make that stop right there. It's pretty much going to be that right there. But again, we are game 1 of 2. Stay tuned as the Charleston Predators are going to travel to Sioux Falls to take on the Sparrows in South Dakota. That game will begin at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central. So stay tuned for that on the 11 Sports Network and for the fans, as Chicago will continue to bleed some clock here with a swing pass to Ash Odom.
Yeah, Ash Odom, great job staying in bounds. I thought he was going to walk out on that one and kept it in bounds and got really close to another 1st down.
So 2nd and short, 4:24 left to go here. Offset I formation. King throws it over the middle, and I don't think the receiver, Torres, was ready for it there, as he's gotten half the balls just thrown his way today.
Didn't quite get his head around on that one.
So clock frozen at 4:21. That's the other important piece of the equation here. Certainly expect an Ash Odom run. Instead, we'll see a pass, and instead a design screen as Ash Odom has plenty of room to run, will get the first down and more as he gets dragged down right at the Arizona 40-yard line. Clock continues to roll.
Tick, 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 tick. They are just making it happen on this particular drive, Eric. I'm with you in the avenue that I'm surprised it was not a handoff to Ash Odom. But as you said, a design screen to get the ball outside, and he did an awesome job getting upfield. I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we did not give some sort of credit to tackle Derek Dye there on securing the block on the outside.
Under 4 minutes to go here for the Wildcats to secure their third victory of season 14. As Ash Odom gets another carry, he'll get dragged down by the ever-elusive Joey Tropicana, who's been all over the place tonight, Cade.
Yeah, I mean, that's a name we've called over and over and over. Stated earlier on, Arizona's defense has actually played extraordinarily well in this football game, but didn't really get a lot of help from the other two facets of the game, being special teams and offense. Offense kind of let them down once again. Couldn't really get too much going, and they paid the price for it.
Odom, the single back. E.T. King trying to bleed this play clock all the way down before he slings it out to Odom. And man, what a tackle there. That was a big play made by the Scorpions defense. Certainly one of the bright spots we've seen this evening.
Yeah, one of the bright spots indeed, and a heck of a hit. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that was number 54, B.J. Loveless, coming in for a big hit there on that play.
And don't get me wrong, Arizona's defense has really been the gem for this football team overall this evening. The offense just struggling to get anything going, and hats off to the Chicago defense for forcing their hand in that way. But man, oh man, just Arizona could not get anything going today, as it was all Chicago's night.
Yeah, Chicago's night indeed, man. And that the defense has continued to stay strong. Once again, our number 58, Joey Tropicana, getting back there and making a play in the backfield. And they're going to force Chicago to make a decision here. I assume they're going to go ahead and try to kick a field goal and just extend this lead.
And we'll see what happens on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Chicago well in hand here in the desert, looking to wrap up their third win of the season. You're watching Simulation Football League action on 11 Sports and for the fans. Anthony Cece on to attempt what would be a 41-yard field goal here with 2 minutes to go. A little bit of an awkward snap. Gets it down, though, as Cece boots it up and through from 50 yards as he adds another 3 points here to Chicago's lead. and he's been very popular tonight, booting field goals for the Wildcats.
Yeah, yeah, Cece. I mean, very reliable, I guess you could say, this evening, putting points on the board every time he's gone up there. They're not thinking twice about it.
CC is ready to go, so is the Chicago special teams unit as they boot it down the field. Justice feels it in his own end zone. He will bring it out, following blockers, and meets a host of Chicago Wildcats out at about the 24-yard line with 1:51 to go.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, Eric, I guess the best way I can put this to you, sir, going into this last piece here is that Arizona's got to find something they can build on heading into next week. And I think I made a similar statement towards the end of the last game we called for them. You know, find something that you can move forward with, especially the Chicago Wildcats defense that's played so well for them. And unfortunately, that pass on first down to James' hands out of bounds is not going to be the thing that's going to do it for him.
No, definitely not, Cade. And that's been the storyline all game long for the Scorpions. Just cannot quite get anything going on offense. Defensively, just fantastic. Lights out. Joey Tropicana, honestly, if Arizona had won this football game, he'd be my player of the game because he is just balled out from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that'd be an easy vote, honestly.
Second down with 1:48. Jackson will throw it down towards the near sideline, and that's caught. It's going to be a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, and it looks like they did get it out of bounds, so the clock will stop with 1:44.
Yeah, 1:44 left, 3rd and 6. I mean, let's see what they can try to muster up here.
$20-point lead for the Wildcats as Jackson comes out in the empty. Trips towards the bottom of the screen. 4 wideouts total. Jackson takes a snap. Going to fire it down towards the near sideline again, and again gets out of bounds. And that again is hands, but he will be short of the first down. 4th down coming up here, Cade, and I expect him to go for it for sure.
Yeah, full well. I'm a little surprised that Jackson's coming out under center instead of in the gun to give her a little bit more of an opportunity to try to get rid of the ball and avoid some of the pressure from that Chicago Wildcats defensive line. Hey, so here we are, 1st down. Good catch, quite honestly, to get out there, move the chains. Jackson and company once again trying to make something happen. Here at the end of the football game, we've got about 1 minute and 38 seconds left. Coming out in the gun, 2 backs in the backfield, a receiver to your left, two receivers to your right. Be interesting to see what they try to make happen here. Jackson's going to go down the field. She's going to throw another interception. Most unfortunately, that's going to be strong safety A.J. Barnes coming up and making a play.
Yeah, and A.J. Barnes with the huge play, and that if that didn't seal the deal, I don't know what will. But yeah, A.J. Barnes with another interception to this Wildcats defense, and it's as much as we've talked about the Arizona Scorpions defense, this Wildcats defense has just been lights out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they've played extraordinarily well. They're taking advantage of what they're being given right now, and Jackson's just giving them all kinds of opportunities, and they're taking advantage of it. They're taking the football away, and most unfortunately, I do believe that was the 6th interception for Ashley Jackson on the evening.
And it looks like we'll see the backup quarterback in the ball game for Chicago. That's J.D. Miller. Still seeing Ash Odom, though, getting his touches.
Yeah, Odom been a very strong point here for Chicago this evening. Making plays when plays need to be made. I don't know if the stat sheet will certainly show the impact that he had this evening. From what I see, 22 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown, averaging right around 3 yards a carry. That's going to be inflated slightly from his long 25-yard run that he had earlier in the football game, but I think that the impact that he's had cannot be overstated in this game. I mean, there's been a few plays where without Ash Odom, I'm not too sure that they continue to move the ball, the score may be a little different.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, and honestly, I'm a little confused as to why we're seeing throws coming from the Chicago playbook currently. I'd certainly just be giving it up the middle to my running back and calling it a game. But
Flex those
again,
muscles, here. Flex them.
that's true. That's true. Go ahead, flex them. Flex them.
Flex them. Two teams that came into this game looking for an identity, and Chicago has done a much better job at finding theirs than I believe Arizona has, and I think that maybe that's just a show of might, and maybe we're going to move forward in this and be stronger than you thought we were.
Yeah, and we'll have to see as Chicago moving to 3-2, and Arizona moving down to 1-4 as Anthony Cece will try another field goal here. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is through for Anthony Cece once again. 47-yarder, and that puts 29 on the scoreboard for Chicago.
29, and that will be kick number 6. That is good. 6 for 6 for Anthony Cece tonight.
Looking forward to next week for both these teams. Chicago is going to travel down to South Florida to the I to take on the Florida Storm. And Arizona will travel away from Fatality Field for the first time in a few weeks to take on the Swarm in Atlanta from the Hive, which is one of the better venues, in my opinion, here in the Simulation Football League. 1:11 left to go here, Cade, and shoot, handoff, air it out. What are we going to see here?
I think if Arizona was smart, I think they just take their medicine and maybe take a knee or hand off. Just in this for the sake of everybody else. Unfortunately, they've not been able to get much going offensively in this football game, and I don't think that's going to change too much outside of maybe just a big play as I decided to talk a little smack. Donnie Hands with a nice catch on the sideline. Unfortunately, it's not really going to impact the result of this game for Arizona.
And Donnie Hands takes out his boy on the sideline, too. Roscoe Justice there as he was getting out of bounds, but a good route run by Hands. But again, you'd have to imagine that the Chicago second team is in there on defense, so maybe that's why we're seeing a little bit more success from the offense currently is all.
Yeah, potentially so. The scheme has got to get better for Arizona. It's been very pass heavy early on in the game, and I think that's affected the success for Jackson and company. I think if they get back and potentially try to run the football early on and establish a little something, potentially play action will open up, and the pass game will work a little bit better. But unfortunately, through the last few weeks, we've seen a very pass heavy attack, and I think that's affected the success of Ashley Jackson and this Arizona Scorpions offense. And we got Jackson dropping back to throw. She's going to get Hands once again on the sideline for a nice catch and gain. 3rd and 3. That will lead to on the Chicago 45-yard line. We've just got about right at a minute to go.
Yeah, and they're doing their best to stay in this football game here, Cade. Certainly trying to hug the sidelines and milking every little second of this clock here as we get a look at Ashley Jackson's numbers, over 200 yards passing, but thrown a whole bunch of picks today, and that's what's bringing the QBR down tonight.
Yeah, it's not been good success. I did hear our friend Jameis Winston had some LASIK surgery recently to get his vision fixed, and I don't know. I hope Jackson's not headed down the same route. Is all I'm saying.
It would be a little bit of a reach if she did. I feel like she's got good vision, unlike that fellow there. But
I would agree.
And I feel like it definitely would be a reach if that was the route she decided to go. Plenty of games left to go here in the young season as well, and plenty of opportunity to right the ship. As Jackson will throw again, pressure's in her face. She's going to throw it over the middle and incomplete. Tiberius Bovine was in the area. Just couldn't quite reel it in as Patel says, no, sir.
Not today. Nice knockdown there by the Chicago Wildcats. Defense once again making their presence known. I don't know. We spoke about this. If I'm Arizona, I just hand the ball off, man. Get DJ Moses some more carries and bleed this clock out. They're going to come out here, Eric. It looks like in an offset eye.
Jackson barking out orders from the line. She will throw. She's going to sling it out to her fullback, and a good spin move out to the 34-yard line. That's going to be a good chunk of yardage, and a 3rd and short coming up.
3rd and short. Yeah, it was a nice throw out there, quite honestly, to get the ball out. And, just figure out what you do well. You know, that's all I can advise for them at this point is try to build on something, move into next week with an opportunity to try to build on something. You know, like it's been a rough couple of weeks for the Arizona Scorpions. It was 2 teams coming into this football game trying to figure out where they were and what their identity was. At Chicago coming in at 2-2, they'll advance to 3-2 after this game, and Arizona coming in at 1-3. Unfortunately, will drop to 1-4. Working on figuring out what they do well and what they don't do well, and what they need to do moving forward to have an opportunity to compete for the rest of the season and compete for an SFL championship. Arizona's going to make it that much harder on themselves to try to come back.
And then, obviously, this is the first season that they are in Arizona in the Simulation Football League. They previously in Oklahoma City under new ownership with Eddie Gage, new coaching staff, all that good stuff. So with that, there are going to be some growing pains and a vicious sack there by the Wildcats as Arizona will burn their final timeout. Shannon Stokes missing the block here, I think. Oh, no, he was the one that got the sack. They've got a guard that's playing defensive line.
Well, I mean, you put your backup guys in, and if they make it happen too, then they make it happen too.
Shenanigans. 3rd and forever now for Arizona, but there are going to be some growing pains with this Arizona Scorpions team. It doesn't matter how much talent you have on the roster. There's going to be some growing pains there, and a good-looking throw and catch for Arizona as they finally get a touchdown on the board during some garbage time here, but that'll definitely look good going into next week, Cade.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and that's exactly what you want to make happen. Because last week, as I spoke, as we covered this football team, they did not find their way to the end zone, and were very close to not doing that 2 games in a row. But a really nice throw from Ashley Jackson out to James Hands there for the touchdown. It's something to build on. It's something that you can say, hey, listen, is this what we do well? Is this something we can try moving forward? At least you build a little momentum going into next week. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not, as you said, Eric, this is their first season in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a lot to build on with a lot of new faces around the organization. And, it'll be interesting to see if potentially towards the middle and second half of the season, they really start to get on a roll.
Hall of Famer DR Sim asking in the chat who plays next. We got the Charleston Predators visiting the Sioux Falls Sparrows. That's coming up here on 11 Sports Network and for the fans. That'll be up at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central. And Arizona gonna set up shop here for the onside kick. Chicago ready for it all the way as down at the 37-yard line, 22 seconds left to go. No timeouts left for Arizona, so this will be a quick kneel down, and that'll be all she wrote.
Yeah, that looks like that's going to be about the end of it here. I have to imagine either a kneel down, a couple handoffs, and that'll send this one to the end here.
Victory formation for the Wildcats. And they will move to 3-2 on season 14. Arizona falling to 1-4. And once again, looking forward to next week for these two squads. Chicago going to visit South Florida to take on the Florida Storm. And Arizona having their first away game in a few weeks, visiting the Atlanta Swarm in the Hive. As we get a look at the final game stats and highlights. Kay, there's going to be a lot from Chicago here, but there's definitely some momentum to build on for Arizona.
Oh, for sure. We spoke about it tons throughout the game, and I don't want to discredit the fact that the defense for Arizona was absolutely outstanding, and the scoreboard's not going to show that, unfortunately. But shout outs to linebacker number 54, BJ Loveless, outside linebacker number 58, Joey Tropicana. And we got to throw out free safety 46, Kanye Rockefeller. I mean, those particular folks, defensive tackle Chad Tackle and Mark Mello, defensive end. I mean, those were some guys that we saw make some big plays in this football game that unfortunately was overshadowed by a poor offensive performance. The defense has played really well, but the defense can't unfortunately play the entire game. So Arizona's got a lot of good things to build on, including the last-minute touchdown there from Ashley Jackson to James Hands. So, you know, despite what you saw and what you see, there's good things moving forward. Chicago has a lot of good things moving forward. Good defensive performance, good offensive performance. They controlled the game pretty much from start to finish, and they'll look to carry that into the rest of the season.
Yeah, 100%. And Joey Tropicana coming in there and getting 11 tackles, and oh, by the way, 1.5 sacks on top of that. Like, that's a performance to write home about. So certainly hats off to him, and hats off to the Wildcats defense. You know, they played really, really well, especially in the secondary. Jesse Vick had several picks. AJ Barnes with a pick. Ron Hoff with a pick. They were all just intercepting Ashley Jackson all night long, and she could not get in a comfortable rhythm at all.
Not at all. Yeah, great defensive performance by Chicago, forcing turnover after turnover. And Jesse Vick, I mean, if I'm voting for a player of the game for Chicago, I think that might be who I'm going with. 3 total turnovers on the night for him. An absolutely stellar performance for number 26 cornerback, Jesse Vick of the Chicago Wildcats.
And instead, we're going to see Ash Odom with the player of the game honors. 26 attempts, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Also adding 50 yards through the air, so 117 yards from scrimmage for the great halfback in Chicago. On behalf of my best friend, Kate Stevens, Stephen Hacker in the Stats Truck, my name is Eric Vincent. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Simulation Football League put on by the great executive producer and commissioner Cameron Irvine. Stay tuned for the next game coming up at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, between the Charleston Predators and the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Good night.